So yesterday I had a session, I have a session every single day, but I wasn't happy with my positioning. And as a result, there was a loud click on the top set. Now, the knee didn't click all that much throughout kind of the warm-ups, but then it had a kind of loud, distinctive click, pop, crack, whatever you want to call it, at the top set. This is yesterday. And so it got me thinking, while I was warming up, I wasn't really happy with my positioning, but I continued, and then I got to the top set, and heavyweight is kind of a different beast to 100 kilos or whatever, like 50%. It just requires your body to do different things. And so this morning I walked in and I thought, okay, so I don't want a repeat of yesterday. I really want to work on my mobility today. I really want to make sure my hips are happy. My knees have always been good. There's never been an issue with my knees. I've never had pain, like I mentioned in yesterday's video. But when they start clicking, I know that it's because my hips are getting tight. And it makes sense why they're tight, because the day before that, I had a heavy day with small or back off sets. And so today I walked in and I thought, okay, today we are working on mobility. And so I got inspired to make this video and help some of you guys out as well, who are kind of in the same predicament as me, when your kind of mobility isn't up to scratch. Some of you guys are not even close to, arse to grass depth. But the best tip I can give somebody to get there, or to return there, is to do pause squats. Now, I've already uploaded a video today about my top set of pause squats today. I am a big believer of pause squats. Why? Because it is highly specific to what we're trying to do, and it basically forces you to get comfortable in the bottom position. Now, when I say pause squats, I don't mean pausing at parallel. Even if you're a parallel squatter, I think there's value there for you to go all the way down if you can and hold that position at the bottom. It's kind of like a stretch, like a static stretch, if you will, at the bottom. Your adductors get stretched. I feel it in the glutes. I feel it in the upper hamstring, and also feel my lower back and my hip flexors engaged. So you are in the bottom position. You've got the weight on your back. Some musculature in your body is fully tense because you can't round your back, because that would be a silly thing to do. But then other structures of your body are just in the deepest possible stretch, but they're also contracting. So it's a really, really weird concept where you are stretching a muscle that is fully kind of at its end range, but it's also flexing. I'll show you an example. I already did a top set, I uploaded that, but I'll show you what I mean by this. I'll just pop the camera here. Hopefully that kind of captures what I'm trying to do. It's kind of out of shot now, but bear with me. So I've got 60 kilos on here. It doesn't really matter how much weight you use. Use something that you can kind of sit down here for a long time with. Grab a stance, get down, and just hold it there as much as possible. So right now I can tell you I'm feeling the adductors, I'm feeling the groin, and I'm feeling my lower back working really, really hard to stabilize my lower back. Adductors, hamstrings, glutes, everything's on fire right now. And you hold there as long as possible. So right now I'm working quite hard. Even though it's 60 kilos, I'm working quite hard. But today's warm-up sets have been kind of like this every single rep. So I did a bar for 10, 60 for 10, 100 for 10, and they're all kind of like pause squats, not to this length. But I just want to emphasize why pause squats are really, really good. And if you're somebody that's interested in doing pause squats or is interested in doing ATG, this is the medicine you need, man. This is as specific as it gets. Don't worry about hamstring stretches. Don't worry about quad stretches. This is the stretch you want to get, because it's also forcing your lower back. I'm working hard now. It's forcing your lower back to work really hard and your hip flexors to stabilize the lower back, right? And then you just come up. So if somebody, a few of you guys have asked me, give me the best tip you've got to get ATG. This is it, man. Literally, this is it. If you're not going to do anything else other than this, I reckon you'll be on the right path. Trying to pick apart the hips, trying to pick apart the human body is really difficult. There are many compensation mechanisms in the body. Tight ankles, tight hips, uneven hips, one leg's longer than the other, all this sort of stuff. So you want to do stuff that's very, very specific to what you're trying to do. We talk a lot about carryover from one exercise to another. This is why it's very, very hard, man. I'm a big believer in high specificity and high frequency. It's fail proof, man, because you are doing what you need to be doing. Now, a lot of you guys have had, you know, conversations about me saying to me that I'm squatting too much, blah 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 blah. I don't think the exercise is the problem. I think it's the way you guys apply it, that we apply it as a whole. So you could have the same exercise, the squat, the back squat, high bar squat, but you could have many different types of workouts. You can do pause squats, you can do high rep squats, you can do low rep squats, you can do long rest. There's so many different things you can do. I don't think it's smart just to say, oh no, I'm not going to do squatting every day because overuse injuries. Overuse injuries happen if you continue to do the same thing in the same way. So this is a completely different exercise to me than if I was to bounce out of the bottom. Completely different. It's just calls for different firing sequences. It's just different. So mix it up a little bit. This is what I like to do. Sometimes I forget about this and I just get away from it and I just bounce every day. But it's very, very beneficial for you to stop at the bottom, spend time at the bottom, kind of like what Kelly Starrett used to say, you know, spend 10 minutes at the bottom of the squat. By the way, if you struggle to do body weight ass to grass squatting, this will be easier for you because you can kind of use the bar as a weight and you can kind of shift that weight wherever you need it. So I, for one, struggle to do ATG kind of like that, purely body weight. I just fall backwards. But when I have a weight on my back, I can kind of like arch my back into it and use the weight kind of like as an offset weight, and I can just really find my positioning. You remove that weight, I'm just purely going on my body weight, and my ankles are not that flexible, and so the weight above my ankles is not enough to kind of to compress them into position. Pause squats, guys. This is my #1 tip. If you wanna do ATG, highly recommend it. Try it out. Let me know what you think. Catch you guys.